Hello, everybody. This is the first lecture on introductory econometrics, which is aimed at giving the comprehensive view on why we need this subject and how it can help us in real life and in the data analysis applications. So, we start with the question, what is econometrics? Econometrics is an application of statistics and mathematics aimed at identifying and quantifying the relationships between two sets of variables. And first set is explanatory variables, and the second set is the target variables. So, we want to see how explanatory variables are influencing target variables. The goal of econometrics is to test a hypothesized causal relationship between predicted and explanatory variables. To illustrate that, let's refer to the following example. Let's consider corruption and GDP per capita indicators. And if we consider the Cartesian coordinate system, we denote the GDP per capita to be depicted on the x-axis and the corruption perception index on the y-axis. And then, for example, each country can be depicted as one point on this plane. For example, like this. It has some x-coordinate and y-coordinate, which correspond to GDP per capita and corruption perception index values. Then, if we put more countries on this plane, it would look like this. This type of graph is called scatter plot. And we want to find a function that would approximate this data best, like this. And the purpose of econometrics is to adjust the parameters of this function, which would look like this. Corruption index sub I is equal to some function of GDP per capita and some parameters vector theta plus the error term epsilon sub I. Why do we need econometrics? There are four major application fields. For example, forecasting economic time series. For any government, for any state, and for any company, it's very important to forecast its key economic indicators. If it's state, then it would be inflation, unemployment rate, GDP, trade balance, current account, and so on. If it's a company, the major indicator to be forecasted is sales, because sales is a crucial indicator upon which a company is planning its economic activity. Second field is scoring models, most popular in banking, where we try to identify whether the person or a company will appear to be solvent, in other words, to be able to pay the debt. For example, if we have an individual or a legal entity trying to apply for a loan, we as a bank want to understand whether to give out the loan or not. That's why we would need a special model that would tell us whether the individual or legal entity deserves our loan or not. Third field, actuarial calculations. For example, if you want to insure a real estate or a car, then you also have some parameters that are affecting your probability of the insurance event. And if this probability is high, your tariff will probably be high as well. And the fourth field is causality detection. We use econometrics tools to be able to understand which actions to undertake in order to reach the goal that we set. In macroeconomics, it would be to increase the GDP growth, or to increase the GDP per capita, or to reduce the corruption, to reduce the unemployment rate, and so on. If we are talking about microeconomics, that would be how to increase the profit, because the ultimate goal for any company is to increase the profit. And in order to answer this question, we would need to analyze the causal relation between some factors we can affect directly and the target variables. So that's it concerning the first acquaintance with what econometrics is and what it deals with. Please watch next videos for more details.